Liverpool, deluded. You choosing N'Golo Kante. I'm back again. Now, it's not easy being an Arsenal fan, people. For context, I've literally just come off the phone to my friend who supports Spurs. He's asking me when was the last time we won. Have I actually attended a victory this season? Just giving me the nonsense. I'm going to meet my friend later. Obviously, it's Friday. You know, Deluded has to let his hair down, or what's left of my hair down on a Friday. Being an Arsenal fan is adventurous, people. At this point now, trophies, top four, all of these things, I'm forgetting about it. What I want my team to become, you know them teams that have nothing going on for them, they just ruin everybody's day. That's all I want. I just want it to be a good day out for fans now. I don't know, say Liverpool, I don't know. You know how there's been them teams where, let's just say Liverpool, last 5 games, they've got to play Arsenal or something. You know how you've seen a team, last 5 games, they'll play someone they're expected to win and they ruin it. I'm at that point. I feel like the Grinch. Like, let's just ruin everybody else's team because it's dead at Arsenal. Now, obviously, it's our fault why we're here and whatnot. And we lost to Brighton. Is what it is. Touching, if not already, 2 months without a victory. That last victory came against Bournemouth, in which we was quite poor. I mean, I'm not even going to... Listen, let's not even talk about the fixtures to come, people. We've got West Ham away. They handed it to us last year. We've got Manchester City to come. Pardon me. Manchester United, Chelsea. If it's not necessarily big games, tough away grounds to go to, and just the way we're playing, does it really matter the opposition we're playing? Every game is going to be a tough fight. For me, the players, I've been saying it, need to stop feeling sorry for themselves. That's what it is. Obviously, my confidence would be shot. I'd be second guessing myself. My confidence probably potentially be at the lowest it's been in my career for some of these players. But by that same logic, that's the Wenger in me speaking. By that same logic, people, it's like life. Football's a concrete jungle. You can't feel, if you can feel sorry for yourself, but the harshest thing, but the beautiful thing about life is that it keeps spinning. Your whole family could die. You could lose all your money, all of these things. You're entitled to feel sorry for yourself. The world's going to keep spinning though. At some point, you have to stop feeling sorry for yourself, no matter what's happened to you. And that's obviously extreme, but that's what Arsenal have to do. I keep hearing low on confidence. I get it. Confidence would be on the floor. But you've got to pull yourselves out. You've got to remember why you became professional footballers, the talent you had to make it as professional footballers, why you play for Arsenal, even though some of you really shouldn't, why you're Premier League footballers. You're not here by accident. Some of them are. But you get the point. Stop feeling sorry for yourselves. Pull your pants up. Get back to basics. Obviously, I wouldn't say anybody strikes me necessarily in Arsenal as egotistical, but potentially if there is any, leave your egos at the door. Whether you believe in LJUNGBERG's tactics or whatever, forget it. Leave your egos back at the door, go back to basics, and I mean proper basics. Shadow play. When this defender's gone, what do you do? Because that's what they need to do. Stop feeling sorry for yourselves. We cannot go back in time. Listen, how many videos have I made? This team has stressed me out, people. But we can't go back in time. Even David Luiz and Socrates, who I believe shouldn't play for this team again or are not of the calibre to play for Arsenal. Obviously, they need to play again because we ain't got much centre-halves and everybody's terrible. But they can't forget about their mistakes. They have to forget about their mistakes. They have to learn from these mistakes. And a mistake made multiple times becomes a choice because we're choosing to do these things. And bad habits. But we can't, as much as I believe these players will make mistakes time and time again and are quite frankly error prone, they cannot play scared that they're going to make a mistake. That's it. People, football is very psychological. It's common sense. If you're a defender and you're nervous that when the ball comes to your feet, you see them strikers pressing you, you're playing hot potato. Eventually, you're going to make a mistake. You've psyched yourself out before the game's done. How many of you have played grassroots football, people? I played for a team that was filled of youths from Everton, Tottenham, Hackney, all of these sort of sides, people, these sort of areas, yeah? You can win a football match before it's been played. Because when we played teams we had the same certain individuals, it became a poker contest. Alright, we'll try to scare you lot try to scare us sort of thing. Who wants the 50-50s, the verbals, all of these things. And you will see some people psych out. When I used to play for Everton All-Stars and when I left Boardwalk Farm, when we used to play Boardwalk Farm, I've seen, even as 7-year-olds, I've seen many people's souls leave them before we played Boardwalk Farm. I've seen players out of that game when you drive into Boardwalk Farm and you got the flats and you've got the fountain painting. I've seen people's souls leave them then. Football's psychological. You compare that to going Sheffield United, where we know our waveform's poor, where the fans are buzzing. We've defeated ourselves before we've been defeated. You get? to keep on the grassroots stories, there was hella times we'd play posh kids. They had ballers, people. We'd realise to ourselves, yo, these lot got ballers, but I guarantee they're pussies. You say to them, yo, watch after the game. I got something for you, you know. If you do that again, boom, 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 boom. Now, you do that to certain people and they stand up for themselves. All right, cool. Then I've really got to follow through these threats and tear you a new one in terms of a 50-50 challenge. But most men get scared and they want to pass it quickly and do these things. Not as extreme. Obviously in the Prem they're not getting issued threats, but what I'm getting at is I psychologically see our players psyched out of games time and time again, people. Like, mistakes happen. They've got to learn from these mistakes and stop making them, but we cannot go into games scared we're going to lose, scared of fan pressure, scared of the repercussions after games, scared that we're going to make these errors. You can't. These players, and only the players can pull themselves out. I keep saying psychologically we need help because these players are scared, they're shattered. I believe, especially in regards to defending, psychologically, mentally our approach to defending needs a revamp. So you probably need a shrink or something. But I do believe only the players can pull them out of this negative thinking. Only you can pull yourself out. Think about it, people. If your life isn't going the way you want or your job isn't going the way you want and you keep saying, woe is me, I feel sorry for myself. In life, the first step to taking help or getting help is to acknowledge you've got a problem and obviously accept what you're doing wrong. How many people? It's like, it's the same way in a working environment. Clearly these lot are in their careers and it's not happening. How many of you have been in roles you don't like? You need to assess what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong. How much of these things are not your fault? That's what they need to do. And how many of them are? Do you get it, people? We can't... Too many times in life when we face hardship, we always blame external factors. And fail to realise we can pull ourselves out. You need to pull yourselves out. We can say these things, but these players, they're the only ones that can enable themselves individually to drink. You can give them water, but they've got to drink. Each and every one of them has to do some soul searching. First and foremost, forget about the result. Don't forget about what happened in these games and whatnot, but they cannot keep feeling sorry for yourselves. Your season's not even on the line, it's done. But I'm a big believer of it's got to get worse before it gets better. I hope that's not the case, people. But you look at the fixtures to come. If you're feeling sorry for yourself and low on confidence now, when Manchester City come to town, which is probably a free hit, and to be honest, the last couple of years City have been at 30% and popped us. What do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to... If you feel sorry for yourself, honestly, any player that is feeling sorry for themselves, they need to be left alone, people. We need to stop holding people's hands. I'm a very loving guy. My family's given me nothing but love. My mother's given me nothing but love. I've come up off Arsene Wenger putting arms around shoulders. So I understand that. And I do think you need a bit of that. But at the same time, you've got to stop wrapping guys up in cotton wool. Like, we might be harsh. Football is harsher. The world is harsher. Only these players individually can pull themselves out and whatnot. Because there's very few players that can say, if any, there's none really that can say they're playing superbly this season. Probably our top goal scorer, if anything, just on the basis of what he's brought to do, score goals, and how many he's scored, or maybe Leno in terms of shots faced. We're not here because we're here because of mismanagement, but Emery never took us to this point alone. Emery needed to go. He never took us to this point alone. The lack of foresight from the board, the players, we're all in this together. And that's what annoys me when people always blame one singular variable. If you're going to blame one singular variable, it's got to be the Kroenke because the culture trickles down. But come on now, Kroenke is not directly at fault for us losing against Brighton and a lot of these games last season. What he's at fault is the mentality and the winning mentality and what we want to do as a club. Do you get it? We need to pull ourselves out. We can't feel sorry for ourselves. We need to pull themselves out. Players need to stop feeling sorry for themselves. Honestly, I'm tired of hearing people say we're low on confidence, this and that. It's true. It's true. But everybody in the league wants to get at you because you're a top 6 team trying to be top 4, because you're seen as a soft touch with Arsenal. Do you keep feeling sorry for yourselves when you're in a corner, or do you stand up and fight? And I don't think a lot of these players have fight in them. They don't know how to fight, and I don't know about a lot of their lives. But have they had any hardship? Because it seems like any sort of adversity that Arsenal is put at, 9 times out of 10, we're divided, we fall. In good times, everybody's together. These players... Did you not remember last season? Okay, we messed up at a different period. But do you not remember the pain, what it felt like of missing out on top 4, of people saying you're not good enough, of question marking you? This is all things that hit in your pride. Do you not use that to drive you forward? And in times of doubt or in times of whatever this season, remember how it felt. Because that's what I do with my life. I remember, listen, we all fail in life. There's nothing wrong with failure. But the fear of failure or repeated failure drives me on. I remember how it felt coming second place or whatever. So I don't want to come there again. So when I don't necessarily want to apply myself in training or there's a bit of complacency, I remember, do you get it? Look at Liverpool. Time will remain to be seen if they're going to win the league. For me, it looks like they're going to do it. But do you not think Liverpool players, they sat there in May like, boy, we was 10, 11 points up. How the F did City catch us? This doesn't happen again. And when they're in these games where they've... listen, Liverpool 9 times out of 10 have been great. But Liverpool fans, the players, Klopp would probably say, sometimes they've got a bit of luck this season. They've had to grind out results and things. And that's as a result of fighting. What I saw at the Emirates against Brighton, I wouldn't say players weren't a lack of effort, but they don't know how to fight. Brighton knew he was a soft touch. If we wanted to get them 2 goals to win that game, which we did technically for 20 minutes before VAR, you have to earn the right to win 3 points. We're not on the nitty and gritty, and it's nothing to do with size, it's nothing to do with this and that, and where the players are brought from. If you cannot fight, you cannot play in the Premier League, people. It's ridiculous, and I'm starting to get a bit frustrated now because I keep hearing this lack of confidence. I get it, but at the end of the day, you're professional footballers. Grow a pair. Grow a pair. We're all lacking confidence. We all have self-doubts. But we can't let that drive that. You think completely different. You think I don't have self-doubts every day, both in my personal life and with this deluded thing. You don't think when you see these comments, similar to professional footballers, when I see certain negative comments, I'll brush it off. But a couple, I'm like, rah, is it really like that? Boy, man. Yeah, man, he was right, man. I hear that, and then a voice in my head says, DG, stop being a bitch. Like, man up, blood. And it sounds bad to say man up. Forgive me for that term. I think that tone is very outdated. That term, is very outdated, especially with men, particularly black men in my reality, and mental health. So when I say that, I don't mean that. But at the same time, I believe in life. Take 5 minutes to feel sorry for yourself. Take it. Cry it out. Do what you need to do. But after a while, you need to get back on the train. Because it's going to keep moving. Life is going to keep moving. The more we feel sorry for ourselves, even more, we're going to get smacked up regardless. But we're just going to get smacked up even more. And these players need to get with it. They need to get with it. Do these players really comprehend the team they play for, the expectations on the team, whether Arsenal are banter or not? As rubbish as Arsenal have been for years, if we don't make top 4, it's all over the back papers and stuff. So how do you quantify the expectations? Because of the competitors we've got in this league. If you can't handle the scrutiny and the requirements, you should not be at this club. Go somewhere where you're just, I don't want to name drop any teams, but there's some teams in the Premier League. They just want to stay in the league. There's not really much expectation. Go and do that. Because some of these players are not built for this thing. Some of these players are not built for it. There's only a couple, man. Look at Martinelli. Martinelli just come fresh from Brazil's 2nd division. He should be the one starstruck and nervous. He's one of the most on it man here in this team. How can he, fresh-faced 18-year-old new country, be more on it than some of you who have played over however many times for your countries? Some of you wear the captain's band at times at this club. Some of you are first names on the team sheet for club and country. Some of you are earning a lot of, not that I give a crap about money, but I've earned a lot of money, got decent standards in the game. How is Martinelli and Saka when he had a chance even Guendouzi, who is frustrating him many times? How are these players showing more heart than you? These players have been playing professional football for like 2 seconds. Some of these players need to look close to home. Stop fucking feeling sorry for yourselves. Pardon my language, people. I've been very unprofessional in this vid. But you don't know me. I love my club. It's hard not to let my emotions come out because we have no divine right to win any leagues, top 4. I ain't got no expectations like that. But my expectation is players first and foremost to understand the task at hand. Whether we win, lose or draw, everything is left in the ring. There's been too many times this season we've lost to teams and it's nothing to do with them. We've let ourselves down. It hasn't been a thing where 2 boxers go into the ring. The better man who's thrown the better punches and tired out his opponent has been the one to win. It hasn't been like that. It's been poor defensive errors, switching off. You're not respecting yourselves. You're not respecting the fans, the club. Most importantly, these sort of consistent cheap goals and cheap performances. You're not respecting your teammates. You're not respecting yourself. Any man, woman, or whatever in this world, whatever you identify with, if you don't respect yourself, like you have self-respect, who is going to respect you? And 9 times out of 10 people without any respect, forgive me, any self-respect, they're probably at the lower food chain of society. Do you get it, people? I don't need to talk about, you see them when you asking for change and whatnot, or doing certain things with their bodies. Self-respect, people. Arsenal players, I'm not seeing any self-respect. I'm seeing a bunch of moaners. I'm seeing everybody moan. I'm seeing people pass the buck. Do you know what? I'd have more admiration for people that go down fighting. Like yesterday. If someone kept trying but the final ball wasn't banging, I don't mind that because you're being brave. I'm seeing too many people, hot potato, looking for someone else to be the don to do it. Sadly, the one who does it is the one that's typically scapegoated. Like, we are terrible, and we're terrible because we are terrible people. We have thrown this season away. Us, Arsenal, we did not start in the best way. Go back to pre-season, we defended like a shambles. Fair play. Burnley, Newcastle, we got results. It don't always work like that. Papering over cracks. When it's terrible, it's terrible. We've had a terrible month in November, which as Arsenal fans you expect. The November to December, early January period, November to early Jan, the period I told you need to get out with a realistic chance of top 4. It's a myth. 10 points off top 4 people. Yes, mathematically, forgive me if I'm wrong, that can be done, but is it realistic? Can you convincingly say Arsenal going to put a run of form together? We'll probably put a run of form together when it's mathematically impossible that Arsenal are going to get top 4 because we're a solid team when there's no pressure on. A lot of these players are pretenders. A lot of them. We've got a lot of you. Listen, the vast majority of you're good technical footballers. You're good technical footballers. You're just not good footballers. There's no consistency. You've got some of the most best technically ability in the league. Not the best, but some of them. There's teams in the bottom half of the Premier League, if we're not there already, less ability than you lot. I'd honestly rather a lot of them because they're going to give consistency, they're going to give heart. Any team that's got a fraction of organisation causes Arsenal problems. And that's not because these teams are good. That's because they've been knowing about your weaknesses. They know you're fragile. They know you're a soft touch. And sadly, we prove them right time and time again. Players, listen. Thursday we lost what? Well, Friday today. We lost this morning. Probably the players probably had a recovery session and ice baths and that. Cool. Feel sorry for yourselves. Recover. Come Saturday, I don't want to see none of that. I don't want to see none of that. It doesn't even matter who scored, who many goals, who's played poor, who's done this. Get back to basics that Saturday morning, afternoon, whenever that training is. Make sure you're actually applying yourself. Bruv, these players should be eating crackers and cheese. None of that caviar stuff until you fix up. Because Monday, you need to put in a credible performance. Are we going to walk away with victory? West Ham should be relishing that. Look how is it Sebastian Haller? He was doing good in Germany, finding it a bit tough in England. How much money do you bet he scores on Monday? The sort of thing that Arsenal do. West Ham have been a bit shaky and there's question marks over Pellegrini. Pellegrini and the boys are probably looking at, yo, this is a time to get the fans off our back, sort of thing. And can you really blame them? There's not much more to say, so I'm going to get out of here. On that note, people, DG, I'm out.